5 common public speaking mistakes. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sincerely Maria, your public speaking coach. I am so excited to have you today because I have a very informative video for you today where we will be talking about the 5 common mistakes that you are probably making when you get up on stage and do public speaking. So this video is for you if you are interested in becoming a better public speaker, if you have a presentation that's coming up, if you have a speech or a talk that is coming up, then you will want to make sure you pay attention to these. Now, if we haven't met already, hi, my name is Maria Malik. I am a public speaking coach. I help people go from being shy, nervous, quiet, to becoming enigmatic speakers. I've worked with amazing people from all over the world. Absolutely love doing this. It's my passion, and today I'm hoping to help you become a little bit better at public speaking. But before we continue, I would love it if you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you are interested in becoming a better public speaker. I do post videos every week, and I have lots of great resources for you to help you become a better public speaker. So I hope you don't mind, but I am going to have my notes open right here just so I don't forget anything. So today we're talking about the common public speaking mistakes that I am seeing over and over again that are really impacting the way that you speak in public. Now, we are always talking about how you can improve the things that you should be doing. I'm all about that. But if you are doing these specific things that I'm going to mention right now, then chances are that you're hurting yourself in front of your audience. So let's get started with some of the tips, and I'm going to try to give you lots of examples and ways that you can actually implement these things from happening. All right, number 1 in 5 common public speaking mistakes that you may be making are 1, reading from your slides or your notes. Look, I know when you're in front of a camera, you're in front of your audience, or you're in front of your peers, your colleagues, you get a little nervous. You're afraid that you're going to go blank, or you're afraid that you're going to miss something, or you're afraid that you're just going to forget. And as a result, you end up reading off of your slides, or you end up just reading off of your notes. Now, it's great to have notes. It's great to have all of these things available for you, but if you're reading off of your slides, you're making a big mistake, and I'll tell you why. If you're reading off of your slides, you're not coming off as natural. At the same time, you don't look like you're confident in what you're saying. Also, if you lose your spot at any point or somebody asks a question, what are you going to do, right? You're going to have to stop, answer the question, and then you're going to start panicking once you have to get back to where you were initially. This is why I highly recommend not reading from your notes, not reading from your slides. Instead, what you can do is have a bullet point. Have bullet points ready in front of you. Have them printed out. Have a copy of it maybe on your phone. Have a copy of it ready on your laptop in case things go south, in case you forget what you were about to say, in case you go blank. You have a form or something to follow along. So I actually had a client that once told me that she was reading her entire presentation from her notes. She did virtual presentations, and she said she was just so nervous of messing up, of missing things. And what she ended up doing was just reading the entire thing. So I watched her presentation, and the biggest issue with that was it just sounded so robotic. It sounded so scripted, because that's exactly what it was. It was scripted. Now, you want to sound natural in front of your audience. You want to sound like you know exactly what you're talking about. You want to be able to pause. You want to be able to engage with your audience. That's why it's so difficult to just read from a script. So again, like I mentioned, go ahead and take bullet points, write down your important terms, write down your examples, write down the things that you don't want to miss. And if at any point you feel like, oh, I forgot to say something, just look over your notes and say, actually, I forgot to mention that A, B, C, D, or before we continue, I forgot to mention, or I hope that I don't skip over this part because it's very important. So let's go back to it just for a second. This way, even if you forget something, you remember and you can still make up for it before you continue on. Now, moving on to the 5 common public speaking mistakes that you may be making. Another one that I see much too often is distracting mannerism. So what is that exactly? I wish I had a pen here, I could show you. So you know when you're always holding a pen or, here you go. So you know when you're in front of an audience and you see someone just like fidgeting constantly, or someone that's constantly maybe rubbing the back of their neck, or someone just constantly has their ring finger on and they're, you know, fidgeting with it, or sometimes girls like to fidget with their hair. So that constant fidgeting, those mannerisms are distracting for your audience. It's taking away from your message. It's taking away from when you're speaking, which is why I highly recommend avoiding that mistake. So think about it for a second. If I was sitting here constantly fidgeting as I'm speaking or going like this with my pen, you would be distracted. You'd be looking at my pen. You'd be wondering, oh, what is that pen? What color is it? Black? Is it blue? Okay, where is it from? Oh, does she have her nails done? Oh, this, that. It just takes away completely from my personal message. So that's why it's very important to not fidget. So how do you stop this? The reason why you're fidgeting, first of all, in the first place is because you are nervous, okay? Now, before you even try to prevent this, you need to figure out what is it that you do? What type of fidgeting is it that you do? The best way to do this is sit down and record yourself and watch it. When you record yourself, you'll be surprised at the things that you do when you're actually speaking in front of camera. Once you figure out whatever that fidgeting mannerism is that you constantly do, try to avoid it. And how do you do that? Next time when you're in front of your audience, let's say I did have this fidgeting problem. Now I know, okay, first of all, let me make sure there's no pen anywhere near me when I'm speaking. Also, let me make sure that I am, instead of fidgeting, I have my hands down in front of me. So I'm controlling my fidgeting mannerism. If let's say it's a ring that you're wearing that you're constantly fidgeting with, keep that ring away from you before getting up in front of your audience. Or let's say it's your hair that you're constantly playing with. Tie your hair back. It could also be something like a notebook that you constantly pick up because you just don't know what to do or what to say and you put it away. Make sure you're not touching that notebook. The less fidgeting you do, the more calm your demeanor is, the easier it is for your audience to pay attention to you and listen to your words. So now before we continue, I do want to share a resource with you guys. I love handing these out to you. If you have not already, make sure you grab your copy of my free public speaking workbook. So this is a workbook that's going to get you ready next time you have a presentation, a speech, or a talk to give. It talks about a lot of the things that you should be paying attention to. I do have an entire checklist on here. I also have a story bank for you to have your stories ready. Lots of other great things. All you need to do is click the link down below and grab your absolutely free copy. And also let me know what you think of it. I love hearing your feedback. Let's move on to the next mistake that you may be making. Now this, number 3, is rushing through your presentation. So what does this mean exactly? When you're rushing through your presentation, that means you're in that mindset where you just want to get through everything super quickly, move on with your life, and never think about that presentation again, right? We've all had those moments where we've signed up for something or our boss has said, hey, I need you to present on this. And you're like, oh, okay, just need to get this over with. And because of that, you're going through everything so quickly that you're just making a huge mistake. You might as well not do it. And the reason why is when you're rushing through something, your audience can actually sense that. Remember, your body is giving off energy. The way that you're speaking, everything is giving off energy. And if you're just going through things very quickly, people can tell. And then what does that tell them in return? It means you're either not prepared, you're not confident in what you're saying, or you just don't know what you're talking about. This is why it's very important to take your time when you're giving a presentation. When you're rushing, this also signals to your body that you're nervous and you just want to get through everything. And what you need to do in this case is you need to actually calm your nerves down before you continue. So lucky for us, it's just the first 10 minutes that you need to get through. That's when your nerves are all crazy. That's when your body is panicking because it doesn't like where it is. So if you can get through just those 10 minutes by slowing down, the rest of your presentation, your speech, or your talk will go that much smoother. Also, if you're rushing through your presentation, you're just giving yourself and your audience anxiety. Remember, I said energy is contagious. If you slow down actually try to enjoy the moment. It makes it easier on yourself, on your mind, on your body, and it makes your presentation that much more memorable. So why wouldn't you want to actually enjoy your time there, enjoy giving the message that you're there to give, and want to do it over again because it just wasn't such a bad experience last time? So I highly recommend, if you are rushing through, slow down, take your time when you're speaking to your audience. You will actually enjoy giving the presentation and your audience will appreciate it a lot more. Number 4, this is not engaging your audience. I know when you are trying to give a presentation, you just want to get through everything. You don't want to make any mistakes. So you're just going boom, 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 boom. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to talk about? Okay, I better not forget this. I better make sure I say that. I know, I have been there. It's not easy, right? It's not easy getting up in front of your audience, saying what you need to say, but I've figured out a way that makes it that much easier for you and for your audience, and that is engaging your audience. If you go through your entire presentation, your entire speech, your entire talk without talking to your audience, then you're doing it wrong. What you need to start doing is having different checkpoints throughout the entire presentation. For example, especially during the beginning. When you stand up in front of your audience, instead of just saying, "Hi, my name is Maria, let's get started, this is what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah," and you're talking for a good half an hour and your audience is just like, when is this person gonna stop? Instead of doing that, maybe start off by asking people a question. The best thing to do is ask the most common question, something that everybody can answer. For example, the way that I can start off is say, "Hey, how many of you here have a hard time giving presentations?" Let's see a raise of hands. Or let's say I'm on camera. I can say something like, "If you are someone that is having a hard time giving a presentation, then comment below yes, so I know that you are having a hard time and this video is helpful to you." That's an example. You just want your audience to engage, either comment or raise their hand or nod, or sometimes if you're going to pause and you want to say, "Hey, let's hear a yes for how many of you have a hard time giving a presentation," you might hear a few people say yes, yes, yes. So that's one checkpoint. Always have another checkpoint somewhere in the middle. You don't have to do it all throughout, but if you're not good at it, start with just these 3 checkpoints. One in the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end. So let's talk about the one in the middle, right? The middle is usually when people are starting to get tired, especially if it's a long presentation, if it's a long speech. People are tired, right? There's only so much brain capacity everyone has and so much information people can take in at a time. So if this is the case, it's a great idea to give people a break in the middle of your presentation, right? If it's a long presentation, if it's a 1-hour presentation, half an hour in, you do want to give everyone a water break, a coffee break, a break to go to the bathroom, whatever it may be. Have that checkpoint in the middle. Also during this time, before you let people go, ask them, "Hey, does this make sense? What I just said right now, does that resonate with you? Or is there any questions that you have before I continue from here?" By doing this, you are allowing the audience to take a break from listening to you and actually internalizing, listening to what you're saying and speaking, asking questions if they need to. The last time that you should have your checkpoint, again, is at the end. So during this time, you want to ask your questions as well. You want to ask people, okay, was there anything from everything that I talked about right now that did not make sense? Or ask specific questions that are catered towards your audience. The point is, the more check-ins you have with them, especially in the middle, the beginning, the end, the better it is for your audience. You need to start engaging your audience. It just makes it more enjoyable for them, especially in order to listen to you. Think about it. You don't want to sit there and listen to someone constantly and not have them ask you about your opinion, right? Just like that, presentations, talks, and speeches are not any different. You want it to be more like a conversation. You want it to be more flowing. You want it to be enjoyable. So start having checkpoints and engaging your audience all throughout your presentations. And ask those important questions. Lastly, number 5 is not reading the room. So what do I mean by that? Now, part of being a good speaker, a good public speaker, a good presenter is reading the room. okay? Here is what I mean by that. If you are standing up in front of your audience, you give a brilliant speech or a great presentation, and guess what? You look at your audience, people are yawning, they're looking at their phones, they're not interested. That means something's going on. That means you're not reading your room. That means somewhere along the lines, something was missed. So part of being a good public speaker is looking and listening to your audience. If they are bored, change things up, maybe up your energy. If they look like they are getting distracted and they're on their phones, maybe give everybody a break, right? Maybe there's too much information at that time and they just can't absorb it. Or if you feel like people are just not paying attention, engage your audience, ask somebody a question. So now everyone's alert and they know, oh, okay, wait, we're being asked questions, so I better pay attention. It's also a good idea to read the room so you know that you're on track. If your audience is not asking you questions, they're not nodding when you ask them questions, then that means that you need to re-engage your audience. Another part of reading the room is listening to them. Now, remember, I told you energy is so important. Sometimes, you know, when you walk into a room, you can literally feel the vibe, you can literally feel the energy. So if you're standing up in front of your audience, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're clapping, that means everyone is engaged, everything is good, continue. But if it's the opposite and you can sense the tension in the air, you can sense the lack of excitement, then you need to switch things up. You need to do something, you need to talk about a different topic, you need to maybe give an example, you need to do something different to re-engage and energize your audience. This is why reading the room is highly important, and if you're not doing that, then you're making a huge mistake, because an engaged audience, a room that is full of excitement, means that you are doing your job correctly. So these are the 5 public speaking mistakes that I am seeing much too often. If you want to spice it up a little bit, if you want to make your public speaking a little bit more enjoyable for yourself, for your audience, then make sure you are not doing any of these. If you enjoyed these tips, please give me a thumbs up so I know what kind of videos to continue making. Also, if you are interested in becoming a better public speaker, I am listing my calendar right down below. Let's get on a call. Let's talk about what kind of challenges you have and see if I can help you become a better public speaker. Who doesn't want that, right? Also, if you are interested in becoming a public speaker, I have tons of videos on my channel that help you become a better public speaker. Lots of tips, lots of techniques, so do check out some of these videos right here. And I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, take care, have a great day. I will see you soon. Take care, bye.